the most realistic online racing sim ever made. This is iRacing. Detailed laser scan tracks, fully dynamic real-world cars, and over 50 series to choose from. 6 online world championships offering over $100,000 in annual prizes. This is the original esport racing game. This is iRacing.
All right. Well, hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Turn 3 Racing Network. As tonight, we're here with OP Racing Premier Series. I am your host for tonight. My name is K.R. Stolfus, and in the booth with me is the illustrious Dawson Wise, cutting it by the nick of time. How you doing, Dawson?
The illustrious and very late Dawson Wise tonight, KR. I'm doing good. We got a playoff cutoff race tonight, and we got some guys missing. I don't know if you noticed, but we may have a little bit less drama, or more drama, however you look at it, based on the guys that aren't here, but it's going to be a good one.
It is going to be a good one for sure, and several of our qualifier or championship contenders are going to have to put in a good race and get away with this one, away from this race with a solid points haul, if not a win. So with that being said, we are going to step away for the national anthem. But Dawson, go ahead and finish what you were going to say.
Oh, I was just going to, piggyback off what you said, and especially with guys missing, some of the guys below the cut line. I mean, if they can get a good run, they're going to get in just based on showing up, and starting a race. I mean, it's a breath of fresh air, if you will, for a guy like Richard Kuhn, a guy like Adam Kilday, seeing that some guys above him, some guys around him are not here, and we're going to have to see how they run tonight.
All right, with that being said, we will step away for the national anthem now. So no one go anywhere. We'll be back with tonight's starting lineup.
We take you down onto the track for our opening ceremonies.
Ladies and gentlemen, please rise. Please remove your hats.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous flight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, as our drivers are taking to the grid 24 cars registered for tonight's session. We talked about some of them being missing, and it's for good reason. A bunch of them were at the Charlotte Roval race, so we'll give them leeway, but Some of them were championship contenders, so we'll get into that here in just a little bit. But let's go ahead and start looking at our Bumpy Road 250 starting lineup presented by Butt Kicker. Sebastian Marin in the 23 on pole with a 52.193 to his outside, the 88 of Gabe Butler. Row number 2, the 510 of Richard Sanchez and Vicente Guerrero in the 14. Row number 3 will be the 40 of Peter deBorja, and to the outside, that is the 25 of Kevin Freis. Row number 9 will be Bubba Winningham in the 66 and Kody Neagles in the 6. Row 5, Kacey Gilchrist and Richard Kuhn.
Row number 6 will be Adam Kilday, 1 point below the cut line. He needs a good run tonight with Rob Connors and 00 to his outside. Josh Ball start 13th. Dave Hunt to his outside. Row 8, Zach Workman and Eric Laurie. Row number 9 will be Sean Makara and league owner Alex Green. And row number 10, round out your top 20, Travis Elliott and Anthony English.
It's Matt Wagner in the 11, Sean Stevens in the 27 for row number 11. And our final row, Zach Fritsch and Nate Warren bringing up the final 2 spots here tonight. So with that being said, guys, let's take a quick look at our race info coming into tonight's race. This is the round of 16, or the championship 16. This is the last chance for these drivers to get locked in. Right now, the only one locked in is Anthony English. And just a reminder, there are no cautions for stages, but points will be given at the completion of lap 25 and 50. One fast repair is available. And Dawson, that's a beautiful day to go racing.
Yeah, it is a beautiful day for a cutoff race. This is a big one, and you can tell looking at all the green up at the front of this field, points going to mean a lot to a lot of guys tonight. That cut line, I'll tell you what, it is intense. A lot of single digits on there for guys that could fall out of the postseason after tonight if they don't get a good run.
Yeah, so we're looking around. We see Crosby Sr.'s not out here. Jim Maier's not out here. Those 2 drivers came into tonight's race below the cut line. So we already know for sure they're not going to make it into the championship 12. All right, so here we go. Pace truck going to peel off. Sebastian Marin and Gabe Butler going to lead this field to the first green flag tonight. As into the tri-oval we go, and away we go off into turn number 1. Everyone trying to get up to speed. The 14 pushing on the back bumper of that 88.
And Marin's got a nice run. He's in the bumpier line down there on the bottom, but it is a shorter way around the racetrack. He's got Richard Sanchez all over his rear bumper, but the outside's got the numbers. They're going to roll right to the race lead. Gabe Butler, Vicente Guerrero, Kevin Freis, Kody Neagles locked together. Guerrero, how about that big move? You know he needs some points tonight. He goes down in front of his teammate. That's not going to work for him, though, as that allows Gabe Butler to have his boot knock a teammate behind him now, Kevin Freis.
Outside line has the advantage for the moment, being led by the 88 of Gabe Butler. So our first lap about ready to be wrapped up, and Butler going to lead the opening lap here tonight.
It's a bonus point for him, and that's important to note. He was 4 points above the cut line coming into tonight's race. The driver who is below the cut line, the first guy below it, Adam Kilday, he is in the field tonight, just outside the top 15 as they run right now on the racetrack. But so Butler now moves to 5 above the cut line. Obviously, Vicente Guerrero looked to get the lap right there to get himself 6 points above the cut line. And obviously, you can see these drivers already starting to jockey to the front. Richard Kuhn, Peter deBorja are the ones I'm watching. They're starting to come forward in a big way, trying to get themselves some bonus points. deBorja especially 1 point above the cut line.
We go on board with the driver of the 40 as he is tucked in. I believe that is Kody Neagles just ahead of him. So deBorja pushing on the back bumper of the 6 here in that outside lane. Fastest lap of the race going to Nathan Warren in the 2. I do expect to see that lap time drop a little bit more throughout the rest of the night.
Yeah, I definitely start to ramp up the later we go, especially in a race like this. And actually, I do stand corrected a little bit. As they run currently with Steve Korosec not in the field tonight, he was +8. He's going to go below the cut line, not showing up for the race tonight. So the driver on the cut line is actually going to be Richard Kuhn in the 47, at least the first guy below it. It means Adam Kilday would be the first man above it. It's about an 11-point buffer, but even that's still not a lot. Oh, we almost got some trouble in the back involving Nate Warren. That was a big moment back there.
Yeah, and Anthony English in the 44. He went through the grass, but we stayed green. The 44 and the 11 now going to get hooked up at the tail end of this field. And I do believe they could be in danger of losing the draft here, as they're still trying to gain speed and everyone else is pulling away from them.
Yeah, and one driver starting to make hay on the bottom line is Vicente Guerrero. He's pulled even with the leader, Gabe Butler. Sebastian Marin doing a great job of getting the 14 up even. They're going to try to get him a lap lead right here, get him an extra bonus point just to be sure. And I don't think they're going to get it, though. The outside rolls off of turn number 4 are going to be close, but Butler leads another one. But watch out, Guerrero now even with the bottom, or excuse me, even with the top line, he's got some more help down there as well. That's the important part.
The 88 continues to lead, but the 14 on the inside with some momentum from the 23 is Sebastian Marin, trying to wrestle that lead away. So far, the outside lane here at this bumpy Daytona track has proven to be where they all want to be. The inside line from time to time, though, gets a good run. We'll see if the 14 can make anything with it.
Oh, Sebastian Marin's trying his best to get the 14 out front just to lead a lap, if anything. And he might get it right here. Not quite. Butler and Freis deny the 14 once again. And Gabe Butler continues to rack up laps led. He got that bonus point. deBorja's looming in the distance there. Richard Kuhn as well. They're two guys that you'd like to see get some bonus points if you're one of those two. And obviously, these two guys on the top would like to help Peter do that at some point, being teammates of the 40. And also come over for the back. Adam Kilday has started to make his way to the front as well. He's 6th on the bottom right now.
Kilday mid-pack, 6th car on the bottom. Workman right there behind him. And then Kacey Gilchrist and Sean Makara all battling at the back of this pack as well. Zach Fritsch and Anthony English, our final 2 championship contenders. Fritsch, tail end of this lead pack, but then Anthony English and Matt Wagner, the last 2 trucks in this field, and they're gonna have to stay hooked together and ride around and hope for the best. As a new quick lap, Travis Elliott in the 51 turning a 47.44 that time around.
Well, it's going to continue to get faster. The closer we get to the stage, the closer we get to the end of the race, it's going to continue to get quicker and quicker the longer we go. And the bottom line, still hanging around. Guerrero and Marin doing an excellent job of just maintaining. Even if they're not leading laps, they're just maintaining the track position, and that's such a huge part of what this Monday season has been. You've heard guys time after time talk about track position, and that's what Guerrero and Marin and Kody Neagles have. That's the 3 Dale Cup teammates tonight. They're all inside the top 5. They really all need good runs. I mean, none of them are safe, if you will. Sebastian Marin actually came in tonight 1 point above the cut line, so he needs a good run, but all 3 of them do. None of them locked in, and 2 of them single digits above the cut line as we run right now.
All right, so we stay side by side. No one really trying to use a 3rd lane just yet. And as I say that, the one of Josh Ball jumps up to the 3rd lane. And he is all by himself, no one going with him. The 3 of Alex Green, gonna let him blend in though. And so back to 2 wide throughout the rest of the field.
Well, it's the best run the bottom's gotten in the trial. Well, it's still not enough to beat that top line to the start-finish line. It's a strong group of trucks running the middle line as we run right now, obviously led by Gabe Butler and Kevin Freis. Everybody's still just kind of 2 by 2 in formation. But other than that, some guys falling back a little bit. Josh Ball tried to go 3 wide, but like you said, not really much help going for him right now. Everybody content to ride in line. 3 wide here is more like 4 wide at every other racetrack, just because of how little room you have, and obviously the unpredictability of the bumps in the middle of the corner that can shoot you off into the other car or into the outside wall.
Let's go on board with the 66 of Bubba Winningham. Winningham finding himself in the thick of things right now. He is down on the bottom lane. And I believe he's in the 5th row on the bottom lane. Just how bumpy this track is very evident in this onboard shot. And let me tell you, when you're doing 180 miles an hour and hitting those bumps, it's quite unnerving.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, even from my experience running here, it can be, especially when that top line, you see Gabe Butler come down a little bit, get on the door of Vicente Guerrero. I think he may clear up for the lead right here. He's certainly going to try. Butler is going to maintain it for now. Excellent job. But when a truck gets down on you like that, like the 88 just did, it's awfully sketchy through the middle of the corner when you're on that bottom line, because there's bumps as it is, but then there's the tunnel in the middle of turns 3 and 4 that you hit, and it's the most jarring bump of the entire corner. And if you're not prepared, if you're not automatically correcting for that tunnel, it sends you off to the right a considerable amount. I've been guilty of getting into some guys several times over in that corner.
Yeah, you never want to get into anyone, but hard not to at this track.
Yeah, no, it's inevitably going to happen tonight more than once. Normally on our smoother tracks, maybe not the sign of the greatest night when you're getting into a bunch of other people, but here it's just kind of a nature of the racing, and we're going to expect to see it quite a bit as the night goes on, especially once these guys inevitably go 3 wide. You know it's going to happen at some point.
Somebody somewhere is going to try it, and there's going to be more than one truck in that upper lane that really starts making it work.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I mean, when there's guys in the field right up here at the front that could easily make it work if they need to. But obviously right now, everybody content to just kind of ride about halfway through stage 1. Most everybody who's going to need stage points is in a decent spot for them right now. Marin, deBorja, Butler, Guerrero, they're all in spots for decent stage points, as well as Kevin Freis and Kody Neagles, although their buffer to the cut line is a little bit more than the other guys I just mentioned. Adam Kilday is the first guy I would look at as maybe a guy that needs to make up some spots. That may think about the 3rd lane. Oh, Guerrero almost gets turned off the bumper of his teammate. That was awfully close in the dry oval. That's going to set him back a little ways here.
That does, and it allows the 88 an opening to drop down, and this is important because the fuel window is open to make it to the end of the stage here. So we'll see who is going to start coming down pit road. Keep in mind the group that tends to hit pit lane first is the ones that come away with the race lead. So yeah, you kind of want to be the first ones on pit road, but you also want to make sure you don't mess yourself up should this thing stay green all the way through.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. You got to try to time it out, and obviously not much room to get down if you're a guy on the top right now, so not much thought about pitting if you're Kevin Freis, Kody Neagles, Peter deBorja. Maybe further back, there's some gaps you can get in. Zach Fritsch has started to make his way through the field. He's up to 14th. That's a guy I would think would make up a few more spots and then drop in. Look for these guys at the front. Probably, I mean, they're going to have to pit here in the next couple laps, but you would think they'd start trying to get down in line. Not much sign of that so far, at least from the front 5 or 6 trucks.
Yeah, no one really making a positive move toward pit road, but Gabe Butler did drop down, and this inside lane has the advantage when it comes time to hit pit lane. And again, off the corner, it looks like no one interested in pit road. But keep in mind, like I said, the fuel window's open doesn't mean that they have to come right away.
No, I mean, you're typically going to see some guys wait, go a few laps into the window. Oh boy, big blink from Kody Neagles. Holy cow. Shades of Sebastian Marin last week when he dropped out of the race while pushing his teammate up front. That's what it looked like to me for a second. Luckily, Kody back without any issue, but you'll see some guys wait a few laps. I think, pitting early is going to be an advantage later, maybe not right now, but in that long stage 3, I think it'll be an advantage to pit, 3, 4, 5 laps early, just to break the cycle and get yourself on your own strategy.
Somebody somewhere's got to win the bonus points, so might as well try and make it yourself. I don't know what the right call is, though.
I mean, that's the other part of this equation, right? You don't want to pit too early and you know, cheat yourself out of some stage points either. Obviously, that's going to be the goal of everybody up front, especially the ones with the green spoilers, who now, by the way, are about to beat all of the top 6 trucks. Well, unless the bottom starts to get squirrely, and that they do. Holy cow, Kevin Freis had a handful of that truck all the way through turns 1 and 2. It was shaking back and forth, and that's going to allow Kody Neagles to go to the lead for the first time tonight, at least briefly. He's got his nose in clean air. He's looking for a bonus point for leading the lap.
So the 6 out in front for the first time as he tries to make his way into the next round. Now keep in mind, we were talking about points. Let's go ahead and bring up just how close everything is. Kody Neagles, 15 points above the cut line when we started this race. But we mentioned Crosby Sr. not here, Jim Maier not here, and good grief. Crosby Sr., Jim Maier, Steve Korosec. There we go. Those 3 not going to advance because of missing the race. So that leaves just one driver who is going to get eliminated as the field makes its way onto pit road. Oh, one coming in hot. That is Josh Ball.
Yeah, Josh Ball, no. And he's been stuck in the inside pit wall. Yeah, I think you roll all the ambulances to the one truck at the entrance of pit road.
Yeah, that one went. That truck has been pierced. It is fighting for its life. Call a medic. But yeah, so just one driver out here tonight is going to get eliminated. You know, we talk about Kevin Freis being 22 points above the cut line. Kody Neagles 15. Kody Neagles has to have a good run. He cannot be the last place finisher in this one and expect to survive. So he's got to get stage points, bonus points, or a solid finish, or a combination of all of them. Even though he is our 3rd truck in line, or 3rd driver in the standings, it's not set in stone just yet.
Not at all. You still need to execute, and that starts on pit road right here as he hits it with Peter deBorja and some others on the pit road. Also Kacey Gilchrist, who overshoots his box. That's a tough break. He actually overshot it twice. Gilchrist, this is an extremely tough break for that playoff driver, as he's going to have a serious setback here on pit road.
On board with Sebastian Marin as he makes his way through the trial, and you see all the other trucks down and away. Just how advantageous it was for Marin to be the first one on the pit road. He is going to make his way around this outside, or the outside of all these trucks as they try to get up to speed.
He's going to come flying by. I would think the first 3 trucks at least here will be able to blend. There's also a second group a little further back that I think should be able to blend. Kody Neagles easily going to be able to blend. What a great pit stop and exit there by the 6. Incredible execution. He should tag on to the back of this first group. deBorja and Fritsch. Oh, deBorja hangs him out to dry. Peter deBorja, last minute run to the outside. It's that's going to shuffle Neagles a while back here, at least 2 trucks back, if not more than that. And Zach Fritsch, Gabe Butler, Travis Elliott staying up, going behind the 40. Neagles going backwards in a hurry as the second group tries to run down the leaders.
Gabe Butler just turned the fastest lap of the race at a 47.28. So Butler in the mix with Kody Neagles and Peter deBorja right here. They are moving quickly. Josh Ball rejoining the race. All medical services been rendered to that number 1, and he is back out there.
Yeah, he's back out on the racetrack, and I don't know, that was a weird situation. I've never seen a truck get, I don't know if I should say the word impaled, but that's exactly what happened on pit road. I don't think I've ever seen that before, and I've been racing at this specific configuration of this racetrack for a long, long time.
All right, with our pit stops underway and our closing stages, or closing laps of stage number 1, let's go ahead and take a look at our stage winners. We're going to look at that. We're going to look at most points through the last 3 races. Somebody messed up. Someone needs to fire the graphics guy. Whoever's in charge of that. Anyways, Anthony English picked up the win last week, so he is on the hot streak. Sebastian Marin, Zach Workman, Zach Fritsch, Kody Neagles, all with some big points hauls here in the last few races, and that's something you want to see for sure. And just a reminder as to what happened last week. English did pick up the win. Mark Mann brought it home in second. Sean Makara third. Kevin Freis fourth. And rounding out your top five last week was Steve Korosec. Korosec picked up a stage along with Kody Neagles. So we documented that Korosec not here tonight. More than likely will be eliminated from the playoffs as we have another new fast lap, 46.78. They are out there getting after it, trying to make sure that they get themselves into the best spot possible for our stage points.
Yeah, and if you look at Kevin Freis, he's looking at a mirror of what they looked at for the first about 12 laps as he is locked off the front row by the Dale Cup teammates Marin and Guerrero, who had excellent pit cycles. And their teammate Kody Neagles not too far back, but they're content, I think, to just kind of run right here. Sanchez doing a great job of pushing the 14 on the bottom. They got Travis Elliott coming to their aid. Rob Connors down there as well. The lines are very even, and if you're the 23 and the 14, I would say you'd be pretty content to just ride it out like this. Everybody behind them, meanwhile, not so much. Oh, almost trouble as Butler and Workman. Here we go, 3 wide for the first time tonight.
2 trucks in the third lane. Now make it 3 as the 12 of Zach Fritsch jumps up there. Going to take a moment to build the momentum for that outside lane as Sebastian Marin goes up there. Now that outside lane really starting to roll. Sebastian Marin saw that, jumped up there, and Marin now leads from the third lane.
Oh boy, hold on to the edge of your seat here for the next 2 laps. This is going to be really close racing that's made even closer by those bumps that are all along the corners of this racetrack. Fritsch pushing hard on the top, Neagles pushing hard in the middle, Sanchez pushing hard on the bottom. I think Marin may get clear right here, and if he does, he's going to go down. Well, maybe not. Kevin Freis, Kody Neagles doing an excellent job. Let's see if they go all the way to the bottom. Neagles does, Freis doesn't. Contact between the 25 and the 23. Oh, the 14 gets turned. Fritsch, Butler, Kilday all involved. And that's going to do it for the stage. And oh no, a horrible break for Vicente Guerrero, who goes head on to the outside wall.
Kody Neagles, I believe, was clear of everyone when that happened. And I believe he will be our stage winner. But let's take a look here. 53 of Dave Hunt, the 14 of Vicente Guerrero, heavy contact to the outside wall. Zach Fritsch gets collected in it. He had nowhere to go. Gabe Butler in the 88 getting a piece of it. Dave Hunt going around. Go off the nose of the 88. And just like that, your chances at a stage win are up in concrete dust as you smack that outside wall.
Yeah, we'll have to get an idea of what the stage finish is as well. Obviously, that's a really tough break. Those 4 playoff guys that were running in stage point positions. Butler, especially Marin as well, or excuse me, not Sebastian Marin, but Vicente Guerrero, both being involved in that. It's a huge blow to their chances. That's going to be a pretty big big points gain though for guys like Zach Workman, who end up coming home 5th in the stage right there, and that shook a lot of things up at the front. Some guys just got stage points that maybe weren't in position for him a couple of seconds ago.
So Kody Neagles in the 6th, our stage 1 winner. We'll let him hit pit road and complete his pit stop before we try and fire it up and talk to him. As the 6 is down and away. And Dawson, I'm gonna let you talk to your buddy. Just as soon as I find him. I've overlooked him twice now. I know where he's at. All right, Dawson, it's all you, bud.
Yeah, I've got caught up with our stage winner. Hey, Kody, it's the boys in the booth. You got a copy?
Yes, sir.
Another rough end of the stage there. Obviously, your teammate gets taken out in that incident behind you. You get the stage win. It's got to be, I'm sure, pretty anticlimactic for you guys here running at the front one too, knowing that Vince was involved in that wreck.
Yeah, I mean, I don't exactly know what he has for damage, but he got 6th, I think, at the stage, so that gets him further away from the cut. So I think it's just big picture racing. He doesn't have to take a fast repair. He can work on repairing his truck, and he got stage points. So the further he can get away from the that cut line, he can get in a safe spot. I mean, there's only 13 playoff guys in the field right now, so I think we're all feeling pretty good.
Absolutely, got to be feeling pretty good. First pit stop, so that leads me to my second question. As we get into the race here, especially in stage 3, if we get into a long green flag run, what's the pit strategy going to be for the Dale Cup boys? We've seen you guys do some different strategies all season, and now that you guys are up front leading the race, how are you guys going to dictate the pit strategy?
I think the way we're looking at it right now, I'm going to have to do a little bit of fuel calculating, but it's looking like pretty much a straightforward run it out 3 stops. I don't think, if I know madness will ensue, but if it does not, it's looking like our hands pretty tied where we're going to have to run every tank out to be able to make it on 3 stops. Otherwise, you got to do that 4th stop, and I don't think that's a very good strategy considering the drivers that would be at the front of the pack if we pit.
Oh, absolutely. And all right, we'll let you get back to work here in a second. You come away with the stage 1 victory. It's a pretty good points boost for you. You got a really nice buffer to the cut line now as we run live. So before we let you go, anybody you want to thank or shout out?
Yeah, I'll just give all the OP admins a shout out for what they do behind the scenes, man. I know it's been a really long season, had our ups and downs, but I think we're headed in the right direction with this league, with everything that we do, and I just hope everyone's keeping morale high. Like I said, I know there's been a lot of frustrations and struggles, but we're headed in the right direction for sure.
Absolutely we are. Congrats on that stage 1 victory. We'll see if we're talking to you later. Good luck the rest of the way.
Thank you.
All right, there you have it. Kody Neagles, our stage winner. As the field is stacked up side by side once again, we're going to fire them off. Do want to point out that Zach Fritsch has gone a lap down on. He will join Josh Ball in that category. Fritsch with an extensive amount of time on pit road. Heavy damage to the 12. Not sure if he wanted to burn a fast repair yet or not, so looked like he got as much damage fixed as he could.
Yeah, I mean, this early in the race, 74, it's coming to 73 laps to go. It's not really beneficial to burn a fast repair if you don't have to. I know a lot of guys in the front here, like, Kody Neagles, a Sebastian Marin, a Kevin Freis, they probably would, just because they know they can get right back up to the front and keep controlling the field. But if you're a guy that maybe is not going to run the first 1 or 2 rows, knowing how this track is, not very beneficial to burn it right now.
All right, lights are out on the Chevy Silverado. Kody Neagles, Sebastian Marin on the front row for the restart. Here we go once again. Side by side with the green flag out. Stage number 2 is underway.
It's a great start from Sebastian Marin. Not sure if that's coordinated with his teammate Kody Neagles or not, but nonetheless, he's going to jump right up in front of his Dale Cup teammate. He's going to leave the Bootnaka boys on the bottom. This is actually a crazy turn of events. Everybody piled up to the top. It allows Bootnaka to run 1, 2, 3 on the bottom. Freis, deBorja, and Eric Laurie, their teammate, who has made their way up to them here. They're going to line up 3 deep on the bottom, but they're going to lose a lot of ground before that. Laurie's not quite to him. Zach Workman taking a peek 3 wide. How about the 19? He's getting a little bit more aggressive as we get going here in stage 2.
Eric Laurie in the 071 trying to get to the back bumper of the 40 of Peter deBorja. Keep in mind that we don't want to see anyone eliminated, but at some point someone has to be. And right now Zach Fritsch is in danger of being that driver eliminated. He did not get any stage points and he is 1 lap down. So if you're Peter deBorja or if you're Kevin Freis, Richard Kuhn, Kacey Gilchrist, right now you're just kind of want to keep an eye on the 12 and then manage your race based off of that for the moment.
Well, yeah, as they run right now, at least based on my live points, with Fritsch running in the 23rd position off the lead lap, pretty much, from what I'm seeing, I think he would be the one out. I'm trying to. This is obviously very quick math that I'm having to do in my head on the fly here. I'm trying to see where everybody else that's in the playoffs is running at in comparison to where they are in points with Fritsch. But I think it would be Fritsch. It would be out right now by virtue of he's the last guy on track that's in the postseason right now.
Yeah, that's going to be disappointing for him if he gets eliminated, as he tried to enjoy his weekend in Charlotte and make it into the race here tonight and continue his playoff hopes, but it could not go. It could not end up the way he wants. That still didn't sound right.
Yeah, I'm not even 100% sure if my math's right as we run right now. I'm trying to do it all. I've got a little notepad up here based on stage points, and I'm not even sure if that math is right, but I had Fritsch at 25 above the cut line after stage 1. Obviously getting no stage points being in the incident right there at the end. He had about a 25-point buffer on Richard Kuhn, who runs the last guy outside the playoffs right now. So, in fact, Fritsch may not even be out of the postseason. He may be the last guy in, at least as they run right now.
All right, things are going to be very close all night long for Zach Fritsch, especially as he is riding around in 23rd, one lap down. So Fritsch has to stay ahead of Josh Ball. There are 2 trucks that are battling for that first truck one lap down spot should the yellow come out. And with as much racing as we have left here tonight, I do expect at least one more yellow, but I would be pleasantly surprised if we didn't get that yellow. But realistically, yeah, we're looking at another yellow or 2 or 3 before this race is done and over with.
Oh, I mean, probably several, right? I mean, just looking at the pattern of even just the playoffs, how those races have gone, we're looking at several more that are going to throw wrenches into this playoff scenario. The number 1 wrench, and actually I just went back in my math and looked, so Fritsch would be okay if the race were to end right now. The race is not between Fritsch and anybody. The race is between Richard Kuhn and a few of the guys above the cut line. Primarily Adam Kilday was the one I was looking at. He is currently 7 positions in front of Adam Kilday. He's only 11 points behind him. If he were to finish 12 positions in front of Kilday, he would make the playoffs. So there's a lot more we're watching tonight than just where Zach Fritsch is on track, as Marin takes the lead on the backstretch. Big push on the outside from Neagles and Zach Workman.
Yeah, and what you're saying there, that's not accounting for stage points. That's just finish and everything else. So quick math once again, folks. That would be...
I mean, yeah, it's quick math, but I did the math on stage points. I don't believe Richard Kuhn or Adam Kilday got any stage points, so they should still be where they were before, at least based on my math, perhaps incorrect. But, you know, like you say, it's quick. It's not always right.
Right, and we're in the middle of stage 2, so they could end up winning the stage and really throw a wrench in everything.
Oh, the biggest wrench of the night is going to be if somehow Richard Kuhn's the only guy out of those last few playoff drivers right around the cut line to get stage points. That's going to make stage 3 a little bit more than just a pit calculator. We're going to have to get a points calculator out as well. I'm not sure I'm prepared to do that here live on the air. So I don't know. We're going to see. We're going to see if Richard can get it done. That would be a heck of a way to close the round.
Oh, absolutely. So what you're saying is you're not Larry McReynolds with smoking calculator?
I don't have all of the accompanying technology that Larry McReynolds has, where he can see the live points on a board in front of him. I don't have that. I have a notepad and the math in my brain, so not quite Larry McReynolds, no.
So the pin is melting, is what you're saying?
Yeah. we are full 5-alarm fire going on in my brain trying to do these points right now.
Oh boy. Well, I'm glad you're trying, because I tried it once and I said, you know what? I didn't get hired for math. Did not get hired for my math skills. True story. All right, so the 23 of Sebastian Marin is our race leader. The 6 of Kody Neagles on his back bumper. Teammates there working that outside line. The 19 and the 25 running nose to tail, hugging that yellow line. And hugging is a loose term, as you can see them bouncing through the corner, trying to keep that truck as straight as possible.
It's the battle you fight here at this racetrack. It's going to be all race. It is one of the more demanding racetracks that we go to for sure, in terms of just how much pressure it is on the driver to hold a line. You can see even the guys that, we're used to being able to hold a really great line, guys like Kevin Freis are struggling. You can see the back end of that truck's been moving around pretty much since we dropped the green flag tonight. So that doesn't tell you how difficult it is for these drivers to be running out there. I don't know what does.
As the 19 gets out in front just a little bit.
Oh, but he almost
Everyone
gets
kinda
turned. We're going to shuffle the field.
Oh, and there's hard contact. Yellow flag is out.
Workman. Oh, boy, this is more playoff guys involved in this one.
Hard contact for several of our drivers. Vicente Guerrero, Nate Warren, all caught up in this one, along with Peter deBorja in the 40. The yellow flag is flying. Everyone's going to come down pit road, and we're going to see how this plays out. And did Zach Fritsch make it through this without issue? The 27 gets clobbered. Man, this was a big one. It all started coming off at turn 2.
Yeah, it did. I was trying to look back and see if, in fact, Zach Fritsch made it through. It does look like it to me. And I thought I saw the one with damage off of turn number 4 when we came out of the green flag. So I think that might be the break Zach Fritsch was looking for, but looked like maybe just offset push. When he hit that bump on the exit of 2, the truck comes off the bank and it wants to dance a little bit, especially when you got a guy right on your bumper. And it's not malicious by Kevin Freis, just kind of one of those deals where you give a guy a bad push, the truck can't handle it, and Workman starts to go around, and then they just accordion pile up behind him.
On to pit road, our field is now making its way. We expect to see everyone on pit road. Josh Ball, Zach Fritsch. One of them, maybe both of them, try and stay out and get back on the lead lap and hope for a quick caution and take advantage of the free pass.
Well, that would be the goal, I think. Obviously, if you're Fritsch, it's the only chance you have. You got to get back in the lead lap. You may still be good on points, but you don't want to take that risk if you're Zach Fritsch. You don't want to wait. You got a chance to get back in the lead lap. You have to go for it now, and looks like that's exactly what he's going to do.
And Josh Ball in the 1 did get the free pass lucky dog position. So now Zach Fritsch maybe going to try and stay out to get the wave around and hope for another quick caution. Last time Fritsch was on pit road was lap 24.
Yeah, he'll need to pit pretty quickly here, but again, like I said, it's his only option. I think, unless you wait for a little bit later and you can try to get the free pass, but I mean, do you want to take a chance on that? You don't know if you're going to even get a caution at the stage break, so I think he had to stay out, but he's going to have to pit basically right after we go back green, and that's not ideal for the driver of the 12.
Nope. Got a lot to deal with. He has an uphill battle, but the good news is right now he is going to be the only car in that situation of possibly not being on the lead lap. Does look like he's going to take the wave around, so that will put him on the lead lap. He's currently there as he is in front of our leader. Everyone else has made a pit stop. He will not be able to make that pit stop. And so if he gets that quick caution as he's going to go down pit road. And I was wondering if I'd see him do that. You're the only driver that hasn't hit pit road, and you're also the only driver in danger of being that one lap down. So now he can just ride around and wait for the next caution.
I think it was a smart decision. I think he probably thought about it for a minute and was like, oh, I'll stay out, try to think over my options. He had a couple laps to work with to make his decision, and I think he made the right one. He looked up and saw, okay, well, Josh is back on the lead lap, so it's just me for now. It's one lap down, and if he can stay that way and get maybe another quick yellow here, then he'll be right back on the lead lap without having to pit 2 laps after the green flag, which probably would have put him at least 1 lap down, if not 2 laps down, if we got into a green flag run.
All right, so the lights have gone out on the Chevy Silverado. We're going to fire them off one more time as they line up side by side down the back stretch. Sebastian Marin, Kody Neagles, teammates on the front row for this restart. Row number 2, the 510 of Richard Sanchez and the 47 of Richard Kuhn. And then row 3 will be Kevin Freis and Adam Kilday.
Richard Kuhn, we just talked about him a little bit ago. Outside row 2, he could really shake this playoff situation up, especially with Peter deBorja finding some issues in this race. He could really shake this up if he can get a decent stage finish right here. He could make this cutoff line even closer than it is. We'll have to watch to see where the 40 ends up, where the 14 ends up, and a couple other guys down around the cut line right now that are not in position for stage points.
All right, so as the field makes its way off of turn number 4, pace truck gonna peel off for pit road. The 23 and the 6 lead this field to the green flag once again, and away we go with Bubba Winningham in the 66. Still sitting on pit road. Travis Elliott, Zach Fritsch, 1 lap down. So that does change the plans for Fritsch and Elliott just a little bit.
Holy cow, we got some contact door banging for the lead at the front of the field between Sanchez and Marin there in turns 1 and 2. That was insane. Man, both lines are side drafting hard right up on each other's doors here. Let's see if the bottom line, or excuse me, the top line drops down again, gets on the doors of the bottom. Yep, they're going to do just that. Marin, Neagles, Kuhn, all the way down, almost into that bottom lane, trying to side draft, trying to pull alongside that bottom line as they get a little bit of a run through 3 and 4. This is incredibly close racing at the front. 9 laps to go in stage number 2.
So as the stage starts winding down, everyone going to push a little bit harder, start digging a little bit deeper, trying to get those points. The 25 on the back bumper of the 510. Sanchez, your race leader. Sanchez having a shot at stealing some points here away from championship contenders. Not only that, but maybe a shot at winning the race as well. And that would really be a big time issue if we don't have a championship contender win the race.
Well, I mean, we've talked about the last 2 weeks. There's no pressure on him. I mean, the only thing he's out here to do the next several weeks is win. I mean, it's all the only objective he has left. There's no playoff chances. So he's out there to just lay it all on the line and win the race. So unlike these guys around him that are going for every point they can get, Sanchez is just saying, well, I'm just going to go lead the race, and whatever happens, happens. If I win, cool. If not, you know, it is what it is. We'll go at it next week. But guys like him, there's just no other pressure on them to get any points. They're just out here to go to victory lane.
2x2 down the back stretch. The 23 leads going into turn number 3. And the 510 going to build some momentum down on the inside through the corner. And I'll tell you what, Zach Fritsch in the 12. Better be careful with the 51 of Travis Elliott right there. The 12 has found himself a nice little spot to ride around. Elliott in the 51, not one that has ever been content to sit at the back.
Oh, no, not at all. Obviously, they're both going to be gunning for this spot. Elliott is a little ways back from Fritsch. He got held up a little bit on the restart. Like you said, Zach Fritsch kind of just settled into this weird gap between the two packs. He's kind of riding for now, although he's going to need a caution. He's getting awfully close to this front pack. Got to make sure if there is a caution, he's not involved in the wreck, but he's going right back up, running with the front runners, just hoping something happens around him. He can get through and get his lap back. It's Vicente Guerrero, by the way. He is flying. He has made a couple of moves since this restart, and he is coming back towards the front in a big way. He's up to 13th position now, and coming into this lead draft, he's getting awfully close to the leaders once again.
'53 of Dave Hunt, one of the drivers caught up in our first incident of the night. Looks like he's done a good job recovering. He is the third truck on the inside lane. Peter deBorja in the 40, right behind him. deBorja in the 40 on that yellow line, looking to his right. You can see the 88 of Gabe Butler was up in the third lane, but he is going to bleed in or blend in. Hopefully he's not bleeding. But he tried to blend into the second lane, but then quickly went right back up to the third.
Trying to make it happen, trying to get some points. He's got a teammate with him. Now, the problem for those two is it's only two. Their teammate, Kevin Freis, and their other teammate, Peter deBorja, both stuck on the bottom of the racetrack, and obviously Travis Elliott a little further back as well. He's at the tail end of this lead draft, so not going to be of much help to the two drivers up against the outside wall. Obviously, they're trying to make some hay, and they're making a little bit of progress, but not a ton now. Butler starts to make some headway, though. He's up to about the third row. 88's going to be in this, I think, by the time we get back to 1 and 2.
All right, looking at this field, Travis Elliott in the 51, tucked in behind the 11 of Matt Wagner, inching closer to the 12 of Zach Fritsch. So Elliott maybe stealing away that first car one lap down as we get closer to the end of the stage. And it could go either way for the 12 or the 51. But Dawson, just a few laps left here in the stage, and everyone's starting to feel that pressure to try and get those points.
Yeah, and the biggest move of the night so far is Adam Kilday has pulled to the outside of Richard Kuhn, and that could prove to be huge, as Kilday's the first guy on the cut line, at least by my scoring right now, above the 47. And if I'm the 47, if I'm Richard Kuhn, if I get clear of him again here, he was clear of him for a second right there, but if I get clear of him again, I think I go up there. I think you have to counter what the 85 did. Oh, the Gabe Butler may not give him too much option, though. Adam Kilday may be coming for a huge point stay here in a second. We're going to be 3 wide for about 4 rows deep off turn number 2.
Oh, wiggle out of the 23, and he's going to slide up to the high side. He is trying to make that truck as wide as possible. Sanchez made a good move down on the bottom lane, and Marin could not get down to the bottom to block it. Now Sanchez moves up. They are all wiggling hard here, and the 23 is going to go around.
But he saves the truck. Now they're going to pile up in the middle of the tri-oval. That's going to do it for the stage, and oh, this is going to be awfully interesting to see who gets stage points right here.
Sanchez came away with the stage win. As far as I can tell, it looked like he was out in front when the yellow flag came out. Outside of that, I couldn't tell you who finished where, when, or how. But I do know that there was huge contact coming off of 4. The 40 and the 23 smacked each other. We'll have to back this one up a little bit further. Let's try it from here. You see the 23 and the 6 running nose to tail. Sanchez moves up the racetrack. The 23 gives him a bump, and it accordion effects. The 6 gets to his inside, and man, it was just a long, slow start to a crash. Started halfway through 3 and 4 and ended at the start-finish line.
And now the fun part's going to be figuring out who got stage points and who did not. So they're all going to be coming to pit road. And I'm trying to get an idea of who's where. This is really tough. They're all still trying to get lined up, at least based on the way it's scoring it right now. Looks like Sebastian Marin and Peter deBorja are going to get points. Same with Gabe Butler. Some guys that were involved in the wreck, but not turned around, so they'll get to keep their spots. Richard Kuhn, Adam Kilday, Anthony English all getting stage points, as well as Kacey Gilchrist. That's a nice little boost for him as well. He snuck into the stage point picture right there at the end. But Adam Kilday does a nice job to counter Richard Kuhn. That cut line's not going to move a whole lot here at the end of stage 2.
No, and I do believe Zach Fritsch got back on the lead lap as Sanchez wins the race off of pit road. Let's see if we can't get a word in with the driver of the 510. Let me see if I can grab him and pull him up here. Mr. Sanchez, got your ears on, bud?
Yeah, buddy, what's going on?
Oh, you know, just talking racing, watching you win a stage, things like that.
Yeah, how the hell did that happen?
Well, first of all, that truck was bad fast here in stage number 2 for the entire time. Second of all the crashing was happening behind you.
Yeah, that's where my luck happened. It all happened behind me.
Well, nice job, man. You win the stage here tonight. Stage number 2 goes to you. And this 510 looked very fast here in the second stage. What'd you find?
I just got up front and I had Kevin behind me, and he's one of the best pushers out there. And there at the end, I knew he was, burning up, so I tried to go high to give him air more than anything. I wasn't even thinking about the stage and what lap we were on. I was just wanting to give him some air for all that hard pushing, and it's a big checkup after that. So I don't know what happened.
All right, well, you come away with an outstanding stage. What do you think your chances are of winning this race?
I guess just as much as anybody else. Just need a lot of luck and a friend at the end.
All right, man. Well, I'll be your friend if you win the race.
I appreciate it.
All right, well, Sanchez, this is a stage win for you. Got to feel good. Any shout-outs, thank yous you need to give?
To my wife. Love her. Her birthday is tomorrow, so happy birthday, babe.
Well, happy birthday, wife Sanchez.
Her name's Annette.
Oh, well, happy birthday, Annette.
Thanks, buddy.
All right, Mr. Sanchez, good luck in the rest of the race, and I kind of forgot where I pulled you from. Vendetta?
Yes, sir. Thank you.
All right, yep. We better get him back down. Oh, that is the wrong team. Got it, nailed it. Perfect. First try. How come you don't believe me?
I didn't say.
I could hear it in your voice.
I mean, you just said you put him in the wrong place. I don't know. You said it, not me.
All right. Well, here we go. We're stacked up 2 by 2. Take it away, bud.
Yes, I was trying to work on getting points figured out once again.
Okay. Well, then.
Again, I don't know if my math is right. We're certainly going to find out here in a little bit if I'm validated or not. I hope we can figure it out pretty quick. I don't think we'll be able to figure it out very quick. So my math, the cut line actually did move right there. It's gotten closer, and this is going to be a very interesting third stage because Richard Kuhn has closed the gap to the rest of the field by about 4 points in that stage. He only is 6 points out of the playoffs right here, and all the way up to Zach Fritsch, only 18 points in. Everybody between him and the cut line, less than 18 points to the good here with only one stage to go.
All right, this is getting close, ladies and gentlemen. So, Dawson, thank you very much for doing all the math and keeping on top of that. That's a lot more than I could do. As the green flag comes out, we get back underway. Richard Sanchez, Richard Kuhn, and the 2 of Nate Warren all duking out into turn number 1.
Yeah, they do. Sanchez a nice lead so far. Richard Kuhn, he's a little bit more inspired. I don't know, he probably doesn't know the points are as close as they are right now, but if he wins, the points no longer matter. A Richard Kuhn win tonight, oh man, that could send some shockwaves through the playoffs. It could knock out a driver that I don't think we expect to be knocked out. How about the 47? New leader at Daytona, Richard Kuhn. On a night when he needs it most, he leads the field with inside 50 laps to go.
So Kuhn out in front for the first time here tonight, and if he picks up the win, no questions asked, he advances into the championship 12. And so with him being out in front, you have to start wondering, can he hold on to it? As we have the quick math, more than 3 laps left.
Well, definitely way more than 3, and the quick math is it's going to be hard. I don't even know if it's right. I think it's right. You know, I'm almost positive that I've got it accurate. If it is accurate, based on the number of guys we have in the field, basically up to Zach Workman would not be safe based on how we're running right now. They're not mathematically in. I'm pretty sure Kody Neagles, Kevin Freis can breathe a bit of a sigh of relief. I think they're in. They're 40 points and above. They're good. They're not going to lose 40 points here based on finishing results. So wouldn't expect much change there. But Kody's still up on the wheel. He's up to 4th, and he just wants to win and not have to worry about the points number.
So Alex Green in the 3, now out in front. Josh Ball, who at one point was 1 lap down, stuck and impaled on the pit wall. He is now our race leader. Down the back stretch as everyone tries to shuffle and mix it up. Here comes Kody Neagles in the 6 with a huge run on the outside.
Like I said, these guys still up on the wheel, and one of those guys still up on the wheel is Kevin Freis as well, even though he's 44, at least on my math, 44 points above the cut line after stage points. He's still up on the wheel trying to get it done. Zach Workman's up on the wheel. Obviously, Richard Kuhn has to be right here below the cut line. He's got to get a good finish at the very least. I think he still might make it in over a couple guys running a little further back right now. So something to watch as the 47 continues to run 6th in that outside line.
Down the backstretch, side by side, 2 lines of racing, but the bottom line has really been broken up here. They are struggling to get something going. The outside lane has all the advantages right now.
Yeah, it's really nobody in the bottom lane. Everybody on the outside trying to make moves, and it's going to be especially common with the playoff guys. Obviously, we see some help coming to the bottom now. Richard Sanchez, Anthony English. There's Zach Fritsch, who is still 1 lap down. He's still waiting on that caution to get it back on the lead lap. He wasn't able to get the free pass there at the end of stage 2 either. So as he tries to work his way back up forward, now the bottom's got some help. Here comes Richard Sanchez, and immediately Josh Ball begins to surge once again back to the lead in turn 2.
So Ball in the 1 down on the bottom lane. He has help from the 3 of Alex Green. On the top side, that's the 6 of Kody Neagles, the 25 of Kevin Freis. They are going to sail it off into turn number 3, side by side. That bottom lane has formed back up. They are starting to build some momentum once again as we come around to complete lap 56.
Neagles continuing to lead. You know, this is exactly where he wants to be. It should be noted, even though he is good on points, he's had an incredible season, he still does not have a win. He's still winless here in season 11, if you can believe that or not. So he would love to get a win just for momentum's sake and just to say he got one, even if he doesn't need to win tonight. He's been wanting to win all season, just hasn't been able to fall right for him. And the guy behind him, Kevin Freis, he knows all about winning this season, a multiple-time winner at Daytona nonetheless.
So Josh Ball in the 1 continues to lead down on the bottom line. Zach Fritsch in the 12, finding himself the only car 1 lap down. We have had 1 car drop out of the race as the yellow flag is not coming out, and if it does, the 12 went off track and he may not get the free pass once again. Bubba Winningham, the only driver that is out of this race. So let's see what happened to bring out the yellow flag here. I was just trying to talk about Zach Fritsch, and he, not his night. He can't catch a break.
I'm trying to figure out what happened on this caution. Looks like it starts up by Anthony English in the 44. At least that's what I'm seeing, but I'm not entirely sure how this starts. I don't think Sebastian Marin's close enough to him out. Looks like the bottom stacks up out of turn number 4, and Marin gets in the back of the 44, and it is on from there. He wrecks in front of several guys running a little further back.
Yeah, you can see the 44 of English just take a sharp move there. As we take another look at it, looks like maybe he got a bit of a shot that the truck didn't like. 23 of Sebastian Marin got into him pretty good on the back bumper, and everyone starts scrambling everywhere. Yellow flag was thrown, but nobody was sideways. And yeah, that was the way I see it, I think that was well, they're definitely crashing. We better throw a yellow, and then no one crashed.
Yeah, probably the safer option. Obviously, with English getting backwards there, almost backwards in front of the field. That could have been a lot bigger than it was. Luckily, these guys just managed to avoid wrecking somehow. They almost stumbled their way into a wreck, but they keep it out of it nonetheless. And it's just kind of one of those quick trigger moments. And here now, Fritsch is going to stay out. He's going to try to get his lap back the hard way with the wave around right here.
All right, Zach Fritsch, maybe going for the wave around. Nope, he gets the free pass. Finally, Zach Fritsch back on the lead lap.
Well, that's going to make points a little bit easier for him. Obviously, a little bit of a sigh of relief. He's got to go gain some spots now that he's back on the lead lap, but obviously able to move forward through the field and get himself a little bit better off in points here with still 40 laps to go.
All right, so everyone making their pit stop. Kody Neagles in the 6 wins the race off of pit road. Josh Ball second, Alex Green third, Sanchez fourth, and rounding out your top 5 is Kevin Freis. So with that said, guys, we're going to take a quick break. No one go anywhere. We'll be right back after this.
With the Butt Kicker Gamer 2, what you see and what you hear is what you feel. Butt Kicker. The future is feeling.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, as the yellow flag is about to go away once again. The lights have gone out on the Chevy Silverado. Kody Neagles, Josh Ball going to lead this field to the green flag once again. Row number 2 will be Alex Green in the 3 and the 510 of Richard Sanchez. Row 3 will be Kevin Freis and Richard Kuhn. As this field makes its way down the back stretch, there is still quite a bit of racing to go. We're going to take the green flag here on lap 62. So with the lights being out, field stacked up, all 23 trucks in this race are on the lead lap. Bubba Winningham in the 66, the only driver out of the race, did chime in YouTube chat, said he had to park the truck and had to get out of the chair. So Bubba, appreciate your hard work, man. I know it can't be the easiest thing in the world to park the vehicle, but man, hopefully you get back out there real quick. As the green flag comes out, we are back underway. One of Josh Ball down on the bottom, and Dawson, these guys are into the back stretch and they are sending it off into turn number 3.
Yeah, they are. And inside 40 laps to go. We're down to about a 2-stop race, pit stop wise. Obviously, probably another caution brings us down to a 1-stop race. We're getting down to the nitty gritty, and man, the playoff guys that are up here right now are all guys that needed good runs. And Richard Kuhn, I think, is kind of the catalyst for this. He's going to be the #1 marker of change here. If he wins the race, that point scenario with the cut line is so close. It's single digits all the way up to about 6th in points, and it's some guys that aren't running at the front right now, and perhaps something you'd be surprised. So just take this for example. If Richard Kuhn pulls off the win tonight, he is 6 points below the cut line. All of a sudden, the cut line moves to Peter deBorja. deBorja would be out, and he would have to finish a certain number of positions above Adam Kilday, who currently runs farther back in the field, so maybe Kilday would be out. Makara's running up front, so he should be good. The one I want you to note, though, if Richard Kuhn were to win, the driver out, at least based on my math right now, would be Sebastian Marin, I think. Based on my current math, with him running 18th, I don't think that's going to be good enough for him to be in that last playoff spot.
Oh man, Sebastian Marin not making the cut in the opening round of the championship playoffs. That would be huge. So, Dawson, I appreciate you doing the math, and man, this is getting closer each and every lap.
It is, and deBorja trying to go to the outside trouble. Richard Sanchez is around. Zach Workman, Richard Kuhn is involved in the 47. He slides to the inside, and just like that, the dream night is derailed for the driver of the 47.
Richard Kuhn in the 47 does get rolling once again. Let's see if we can back this up and catch what went wrong. Down the back stretch, the 3, the 510 all kind of start scrambling, and Richard Kuhn stuck right in the middle of it. Yeah, you can just see the line kind of just moves, and next thing you know, everyone's involved.
That's just how it goes. It certainly looked to me like Richard Kuhn was going to have that one missed. Just kind of gets caught up as Workman goes to miss the incident. Kevin Freis gets door checked in that as well. I didn't see that the first time. Freis, I wonder what the damage is on the 25 truck, because he got a pretty decent shot in the outside wall. deBorja has some damage. Not sure if that's from earlier or from now. Several guys involved in that. Another wrench thrown into the playoffs tonight. How many times have we said that? And with still 35 laps to go, it still could be several more we get before the end of this race.
Yeah, we still have one more pit stop at least. 5, Yeah, at least one, maybe two, before this race is all said and done. So Kody Neagles leads the field onto pit road. And with everyone on the lead lap coming to this pit stop cycle, or this caution flag, no one needing the free pass or the wave around this time.
All 23 trucks that are still on the racetrack are on the lead lap, and it really opens up that points battle. It's going to be so interesting. Obviously, Richard Kuhn with some work to do. He's got to get back to the front of the field, but like I said, with that gap, really only single digits up to Peter deBorja. The pressure's not off the driver of the 40 quite yet if Richard Kuhn can find his way back to the front of the field right here. And I mean, if you're the 40, the 85, the 71 of Sean Makara, Gabe Butler even, Vicente Guerrero, Sebastian Marin, those are not guys that are safe. I mean, obviously with Kuhn not winning the race, it's a little bit easier. You've got a bit of a buffer beyond that. But with Kuhn being at the front of the field, oh, they have to be on the edge right here to make sure where the playoff guys are around them, make sure they got enough points when they get to the end of this race.
So still have quite a bit of racing left to go before this is all said and done. Kevin Freis, Richard Kuhn, Nate Warren, long pit stops for them. They are still working on their race cars. And we'll see how that plays out for them, especially Richard Kuhn, who came into tonight below the cut line and needed to have all of the points he could get. So not a good situation for the 47.
It's not, but at the same time, he's run up front now. He's shown he can do it, and I have no doubt he's going to be driving right back to the front. I mean, you'd expect him to begin to crank up the intensity a little bit, knowing his season's going to be on the line right here on this potentially what could be the last restart of the race. So expect to see the 47 on the move. I don't think he's done yet. He has proven tonight he's willing to kick it up a notch to try to make the playoffs, and now knowing the points are as close as they are, he's going to be on the move right here.
So the lights go out on the Chevy Silverado. We stack them up. Josh Ball, Kody Neagles on the front row for the restart. Then it's Kacey Gilchrist and Travis Elliott. Elliott, who is one lap down earlier tonight. Sean Makara and Peter deBorja for row number 3 on this restart.
Yeah, I'm trying to look at where playoff guys are. Richard Kuhn actually is only going to restart in position number 10 right here. He's outside of row number 5, and he's got a clean race truck, so really not all that far from the front of the field where he just was is the 47. That's a great break for him. He's going to be inside the top 10. Vicente Guerrero, Adam Kilday, Sean Makara, Kacey Gilchrist all up here. Obviously, Kody Neagles leading the race. He's had a great night so far, as well as Peter deBorja. He runs 6th. Nice comeback for him after being involved in a couple wrecks. And he needs it to stay this way. He's got to be sweating a little bit right down at that cut line right now.
Yeah, sweating at the cut line is not where you want to be. But things happen, and now you have to overcome it.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, that's the story of super speedway racing. How many times this season have we seen a guy have adversity that has to come back from it? I mean, Kody Neagles. I mean, we could go right to our race leader and our regular season champion. The last couple weeks have not been what he envisioned, and even despite that, he's 39 points above the cut line. So we've seen guys do it before, and more guys going to have to do it here. Come back to green flag, 33 laps to go. Here we go. Green flag is back in the air. Who's going to make the right move at the right time? Neagles and Ball headed towards turn 1. Elliott and Gilchrist trying to push their line out front.
A lot of trucks down on the bottom, just a few in the second lane. We'll see who is going to move up there as they make their way onto the backstretch. The 6 of Kody Neagles has the momentum for the moment. Travis Elliott pushing on him in the 51. Neagles stays to the high side, does not drop down to the bottom as they go into the corner.
Yeah, I expect him to stay up there. It's not only the more dominant line here on this racetrack, it's also the most comfortable line. The least amount of bumpy, race course down on the bottom against the yellow line. Sure, it's shorter, probably the faster way around just in terms of lap time, but it's not comfortable in the slightest. You are bouncing around a lot more down there on the bottom than you are where Kody is right now, running about a lane and a half off the yellow line. He's a lot more comfortable than Josh Ball and Kacey Gilchrist are right now. Look at how much the back end of the 31 truck is moving around there in the middle of 1 and 2. That proves my point. Not comfortable at all running down against that yellow line.
Yeah, we have seen this outside lane be the preferred line time and time again as the 51 of Travis Elliott dives down to the bottom. But that bottom lane looked like it was a little bit rough from time to time for these trucks to try and hold on to, but they make it work.
They make it work for the most part. Obviously, we've seen some guys have some trouble. Travis Elliott, the latest one to try the bottom, drops in front of Josh Ball. Going to try to go get the lead from Kody Neagles. Got his work cut out for him, though. Like I said, the middle is so dominant at this racetrack. Oh, Sean Stevens, big bobble there in the middle. Whoa for Zach Fritsch. That car was all the way around. Somehow he kept it going straight. Incredible save by the driver of the 12.
So Zach Fritsch continuing to go around this racetrack and finally back on the lead lap, and now trying to make up some lost ground. We'll see if he can get all the way back up into the top 10 and have a solid finish for tonight.
Yeah, he's good on points where he runs right now. See, if he was still a lap down, maybe that would be a little bit different. He'd be sweating quite a bit right now. But running in 14th, he's good. He's got an 18-point buffer, at least by my math, on Richard Kuhn right now. He's only 6 spots behind him, so no worries there, I don't think, for him. But he's obviously going to try to go get more. I mean, we know Zach Fritsch. He's not going to lay back the whole race. He's going to try to get up on the wheel, get elbows out, go get it. He's just biding his time for right now, knowing his fast repair is gone. Just waiting a little bit later in the race. But you know the 12's not going to go quietly in this one.
No, he's never quiet, let's be honest. He is never quiet. He always does everything he can to try and make as much noise as possible and win as many points as he can.
Well, that's what you have to do in these kinds of races. That's why you see Richard Kuhn running so close to the front, is he has to go get points. He just has to hope he's got enough spots here finishing in the... No, he's running 9th right now. He was 8th. He's bounced between 8th, 9th, 7th, somewhere in there. And as you look back, I don't think it's going to be enough to pass any of the playoff drivers based on where they run right now. Obviously, again, still trying to do some quick math, but as of right now, I don't think anybody is far enough behind him for him to pass over anybody that's ahead of him. His best bet, obviously, is just go win the race, which is a lot easier for me to say sitting up here eating popcorn, watching these guys on the racetrack.
I do love me some popcorn. Popcorn's always good. There's the 6 of Kody Neagles on the outside, trying to take the race lead away from the 51 of Travis Elliott. Elliott in the 51, spent some time 1 lap down, and he has found his way back to the front. Travis Elliott could come away with the race win. We talked about a non-championship contender winning the race and how that could change things.
You can say that for the guy behind him as well, Josh Ball. He's up here. We've talked about him really since he's been here, but especially in the playoffs. Really the prime guy I figured would steal a playoff spot. I think he'd be a playoff driver if he had run the full season. He's been one of the more consistent guys the second half, but obviously not running all the races, not able to get into the postseason, but he's a guy that could easily steal this win just based off consistency. We always see him at the front. Sean Stevens, how about the run for the 27 as well? He could go up there and steal it. He's running in third on the outside line, just outside the top 5 right now. He could really use a win tonight as well for his own momentum going towards the end of the season.
Yeah, Sean Stevens, capable driver here on Monday night. He could absolutely come away with the race win. So Bubba Winningham, the only driver out of the race in the 66. All 23 trucks that are out there on the speedway are on the lead lap. And we now have 26 laps to go. Drivers last on pit road, just about 10 laps ago. And boy, they're going to be real close on making it on one stop from here. It's going to be close.
It is going to be close. I think they were able to save an extra lap and a half, 2 laps or so, just based on the fact that they pit under a caution. We're able to roll around, so it's it's going to be about as close can get, I think. They were right on the number to make it on one stop. And obviously, as hard as these guys out front are running right now, and there's going to be some question marks based on what lap they come in. They would have to wait until lap 84, I think, 83, 84, something like that to make it all the way. I think my math is right. I think it's about a 17 lap run, so they have to go about another 9 laps before they pit. I don't know if they can do that.
I don't know. Every time I think I know what they're going to do, they do the exact opposite. Yeah, every time, without fail. Peter deBorja in the 40. I mean, this guy, he's such a scrub. I can't believe he'd be out in front, but here he is.
Well, hey, nonetheless, he is out front on a night that all of a sudden he needed to have a good run. Basically, he was one of the guys I did not expect to be near the cut line going into the night. Obviously, the couple of guys not in the field tonight, it makes his job a little bit easier. He can breathe a little easier. He's not 1 point above the cut line. But he's a guy I really just didn't expect him to be this far down. I figured he'd be up closer to where Kody Neagles and Kevin Freis are. Kind of just breathing easy right now. Feeling good, not having to worry about points. But nonetheless, he's up here in the thick of it, and he has to worry about it here with 24 laps to go.
Yeah, and, you know, each and every time you go around this speedway, being out in front, you kind of feel like you are in control of your own destiny, but nobody is safe. We have seen crashes develop from the front row to the back row, all throughout this field. So at any point in time, something could go wrong. Your truck gets turned the wrong way, and you're suddenly wheels to the sky, and your night is done. So no one's safe here. They're all just trying to hold on to that checkered flag.
Well, they're trying. Obviously, they know a pit stop is coming here at some point in the next probably 7-8 laps if you can stretch it that far. Probably not 7, probably closer to 6 laps if you can stretch it out that far. But you know you have to make one more pit stop regardless. So you know you can kind of calm down for now, get yourself in a good spot. But you know you're probably not gonna have another caution before that pit stop unless, like you said, they wreck up at the front of the field, which they're probably going to now that I said something about it, of course.
Yeah, without fail. You know what I mean? Like, just as soon as you say they're going to run out of fuel, because this is the time that they run out of fuel, no matter what, they will find a way to go 3 more laps just to spite you. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, that'd be my luck, right? It's been my luck all season. Seems like when I say something, it's not 30 seconds, and they're already going against what I just said. So, yeah, we probably won't even make it to the pit stop now.
Now, see, as a broadcaster, what I can't figure out is why you don't use this power to your advantage on Wednesday nights.
Well, I'm not in the booth on Wednesday nights. That's the rule. You have to be in the booth for it to work, and look, here's the deal. Certainly guilty of trying a couple times, and it didn't work. So the rule is, Sean Stevens, what a save on the 27. He was dead to rights and got it back going. But like I was saying, yeah, tried a couple times, didn't work. So the rule is you have to be in the booth. So if you ever want to pull me in the booth on Wednesday night so I can speak something into existence, I would not be against that.
We'll have to try it. We'll have to try it as we go on board with Sean Stevens. Looks like he is going to be able to blend in, and he is at the tail end of the pack here. just a bit worried he may not be able to draft up. Trying to watch his timing and scoring here, and he is falling a little bit behind, but it looks like it is stabilized, and it looks like now he is starting to close back in. So good news for the 27 fans. I think he is going to be able to suck back up to the back of the pack and work his way back forward.
Yeah, that's lucky for him. I thought he was going sideways there on the back straightaway. He was about 45 degrees to the left when he came up off the banking, and luckily for him, like you said, able to keep the draft and keep the truck going straight. So good news for the 27 is, don't look now, Zach Fritsch, for the first time tonight, is inside the top 3. He is up to 3rd, now he's going to lead the outside. Oh, Dave Hunt, right as I say it, Hunt goes across the nose of the 12, and we're piling up in turns 1 and 2.
Congratulations, Zach Fritsch. You made it to the top 3. How's that outside wall taste?
There it is, on cue. I knew it was going to happen at some point, and it does. Right as I talked about the 12.
Tough break for the 12 of Zach Fritsch. Yellow flag coming out. Take a look at this one here. Contact with the 53 of Dave Hunt. And Fritchie into that outside wall, and I'm not sure if he has a fast repair left or not. Hopefully the damage can be fixed quickly one way or another. Eric Laurie getting a big chunk of that as well. Dave Hunt, Eric Laurie, Zach Fritsch, all these guys getting involved. Rob Connors in the 00 got a piece of it. Let's go on board with Connors. Connors taking a hard shot to his front end. So yellow flag coming out, Dawson, and we are just on the edge of making it on the long side of our 2 attempts at a green-white checkered, but I think we'll see everyone on the pit road for the last time this time.
Yeah, I would think so. I mean, you can definitely make it right here. I don't know if you can bank enough fuel for green-white checkers. It's going to be really close. We're right on the edge of the fuel run here, so we'll have to see. But yeah, no one gambling here. Too close to the fuel window to gamble. Everyone going to come to pit road, and I don't know if we'll use those attempts at green-white checkers, but certainly this late caution increases those chances.
All right, so Kody Neagles in the 6. Into his pit box, the 40 of Peter deBorja making his pit stop. Gabe Butler in the 88 did not hit his pit box. We've seen Butler do that time and time again. He will come down pit road next time and then make his pit stop. So I still haven't figured out why he does that. I know there's a strategy to it. We see him do it time and time again. I just cannot figure out what it is.
I've never figured it out. You're not getting any pit service. I don't know what it does. I'm really not sure.
Me either, but that's why we're in the booth, I guess.
Yeah, they pay us to be up here, not down there. So,
All right, so with that being said, the 88 down on the apron. Maybe having some troubles here. Kody Neagles and Peter deBorja all pass him down the backstretch. Gabe Butler, is he out of fuel, or is he might be out of fuel.
And he's certainly off the pace, and I think he's getting more and more. Yeah, he is. He's slow rolling. The 88 has run out of gas, and this is worst case scenario for Gabe Butler, who is not going to make it to his pit box, I don't think.
Well, these things roll for a long while. You might just have enough momentum to get there, but it is going to be tough.
Oh, well, now he's back rolling again. So,
drop to the tail of the field.
I don't know what happened right there.
He shut it off, dropped to the tail of the field.
I guess so.
Yeah, I'm confused.
So am I. This is a weird strategy out of Gabe Butler. I'm not going to get a penalty when he drove through pit road, maybe a speeding penalty. I don't know, that's the only thing I can think of.
Yeah, I got nothing. I have no idea. Either way, the field's stacked up 2 by 2, side by side. We're going to take the green flag with 15 laps to go. Peter deBorja, Kody Neagles on the front row for this restart. These two paired up for the first time on the front row. It's Travis Elliott, Josh Ball for row number 2. Row 3, the 47 of Richard Kuhn, who has done a great job at recovering. And then the 44 of Anthony English on the outside of row 3.
Yeah, obviously, this is exactly where Richard Kuhn wants to be, in a spot to either go take the win or at least get enough points and hope somebody behind him has some problems here on the last run of this race. And I'm looking back there to see who in the playoffs is further back. Looks like Zach Fritsch, Sebastian Marin, obviously Gabe Butler that we just documented. They're not guys that are safe right now. Butler, you know what, right now, I think would be out. Based on my math, if Kuhn and Butler both finish where they are right now, that's how close the gap is. Butler out, Kuhn in. I think if they go as they are, at least right at this second.
Man, that is going to be a wild ride for these guys if that happens. But the green flag is out once again. The 6 gets a good jump as they head off into turn 1. Kody Neagles in the 6 led into turn 1, but Peter deBorja going to build the momentum. He probably will have the lead off of turn 2.
Neagles trying to get a good push from Josh Ball. He gets just that. He stays just enough on that rear quarter panel of the 40. The 40 was not able to clear up in front of him. Now the outside rolling in a big way as Josh Ball, Anthony English help along the 6. He's clear to the lead once again. Kody Neagles out front with 15 laps to go. Here comes the bottom once again. They are battling it out here at the front of the field. Two of the more consistent guys in the field find themselves on the front row here with 15 to go.
Into the trials side by side. 14 laps to go. The 6 of Kody Neagles has the lead. The 1 of Josh Ball pushing him clear of the 40. Josh Ball just trying to get that 6 shoved out far enough that he can clear the 40 as well and drop down to that inside line.
Yeah, he may try to drop, but as we saw Kody do earlier, he may just stay where he's at. And as he's clear into 3, yep, gonna stay where he's at is the 6. That's exactly what I expected him to do. It's the more dominant line. He stays up in front of Josh Ball, and he's going to continue to lead the race as a result, bottom line, with a lot more work to do. When you have that strong a truck leading the outside line, especially once they get clear, your work is really cut out for you on that bottom line. Trying to hang tough, but it's so difficult down there on those bumps, especially once you get down here into turns 1 and 2.
So the 40 continues to lead the lane on the bottom. We have 13 laps to go. Eric Laurie in the 071 was unable to continue. He is on pit road, but essentially out of this race. Dave Hunt in the 53 limping around. He is trying to bring it home to the end of this race, but that 53 is tore up from the floor up. And yeah, he's wide open, but barely 150, 160 miles an hour. So Dave Hunt in trouble, and it could be a factor because this field is more than likely going to catch up to him here within the next few laps.
Oh, and they're going to catch him at a pretty rough time. Kacey Gilchrist is in the outside wall. He's bounced off of it again. He's going to keep it going, but what this does is slowed up Zach Fritsch and Gabe Butler. They're going to lose a ton of track position right here because they got caught behind the 31. Let's see where they shake out. I was just going to say they're going to catch him at the wrong time because the third line had just started to get going in the form of Kacey Gilchrist, and he had some others with him, and now it's falling apart back to 2 wide. Now a bit of a breakaway up here at the front of the field.
Kacey Gilchrist in the 31 hit that wall a ton, and that truck is limping right now.
Yeah, now it's going to become really interesting for Kacey Gilchrist. It's all going to depend for him now if he can keep the draft, and if he can't, this could get really interesting because of Richard Kuhn. Gilchrist was only 18 points clear of the 47. The 47 can get up and get a few more positions, finish inside the top 5. Gilchrist may be out of the playoffs as well. This could come down to the final lap. I think when it gets down to it, Zach Workman, Alex Green up against the outside wall all of a sudden, almost to the second row of this field. They're coming in a hurry.
The third line has something going. Workman, Alex Green, Nate Warren, all with some momentum on that high side, the 71. Making something happen with Sean Makara right there as well. So 4 trucks in that third lane. We now have 10 laps to go. 3 trucks just turned their fastest lap of the race. That's Gabe Butler, Zach Fritsch, and Matt Wagner. So you know business is starting to pick up.
Yeah, it is at the front inside, 10 laps to go. You know it's about to be go time here at the front of the field, and it's go time for Zach Workman. He is now up almost even with the race leaders. Josh Ball goes to the lead, but only for a moment. Workman and Alex Green making that outside line roar here to the lead almost. Workman may almost get there, not quite. They're down the door, contact between the 2 leaders. Oh, they've come together. They almost wrecked right there in the tri-oval.
3 wide, 9 laps to go. Tire rubbing, donut giving, truck racing right now.
I mean, when you think of truck racing, this is exactly what you think of. You think of just bumping and banging, bouncing around, no grit, no handling, wide open elbows out. That's exactly what we've got. Inside 10 laps to go. And if this becomes a wreck, this could be costly. There are so many green spoilers in this lead pack right now. Alex Green, oh man, that was close. Luckily, everybody able to bail out, not wreck, but the third line's going to start to fade because of it. Nate Warren, oh my goodness. Awfully quick up there. Vicente Guerrero, Sean Stevens off the racetrack. Workman goes right back to work on the outside. 8 laps to go. It's all happening here all at once.
Kody Neagles, Josh Ball, just hoping that all the chaos stays behind them as they are leading their inside and outside lanes. The 40 of Peter deBorja pushing on the 6. I'm sorry, deBorja pushing on the 1. The 44 of Anthony English was pushing on the 6. Now he jumps up to the outside lane. And Kody Neagles in the 6 drops back quite a bit. Josh Ball still hanging tough down on that yellow line.
Yeah, Neagles actually got a nice little push from Adam Kilday that kept him second in line in the middle, at least for the time being. He's going to be able to help out Anthony English here. It's a great move by English. He gets to the front row. Now he's able to dictate what he does here with 7 laps to go. Sanchez actually goes all the way up to the outside wall and takes the lead briefly. Let's see if English goes to the bottom. He won't. Bottom line fading a little bit now as deBorja has left the back bumper of Josh Ball.
Hard impact.
And it's several others. Guerrero's involved. The playoff truck goes spinning on the apron. Several playoff guys involved. That's going to bring the caution out inside 10 laps to go.
Nate Warren in the 2 and Alex Green in the 3. Really making hard impact into the outside wall. See if we can figure out what happened here. On board with Richard Kuhn in the 47, and you can see the 51 just gets out of shape. And that really kind of sets everything off from there. Wow. Well, yeah, yellow flag's out. 5 laps to go next time around.
That's going to send us not quite into overtime. I think it's close. I think we're going to be...
I think it's a generic green-white checkered.
I think it might be 3 laps to go. I don't even think we're going to be in a green-white checkered. I think it's going to be 3 laps to go, at least if my scoring is correct. If we get 2 to green right here, that is, it will be 3 laps to go. And yeah, otherwise, it'll be an organic green-white checkered. So it's time to go. If you're a guy like Richard Kuhn, the points don't look good for you right now. You're not in a spot where anybody's going to be caught behind you right here. So you need to go. You need to go up and try to get the victory, at least get as many spots as you can here in the last 3 or maybe 2 laps.
Couple of drivers do come onto pit road. Nate Warren, Sean Makara, Sebastian Marin, Travis Elliott, all on the pit road. Alex Green in the 3 did end up on pit road with some help from the flatbed. All right, so yeah, everything is suddenly changed.
Yeah, now's where you start number crunching if you're a guy at the front of the field. So just for reference on points, we get ready to go back green. Richard Kuhn runs in the 8th position. deBorja runs 2 positions in front of him, so no threat in points there. Adam Kilday also runs in front of the 47, so no threat as well to him. Where it starts to get interesting is Sean Makara. Sean Makara runs in the 18th position, which is 10 behind Richard Kuhn. Makara's gap to Richard Kuhn right now, 10 points. So that would be a +0 as they run right now. And I'm honestly, full disclosure, not sure what the tiebreaker is. So I'm not really sure how this is going to work if it goes to a tiebreaker, but they would be tied if it ended right now. Gilchrist is still good by several spots. Same with Vicente Guerrero. Same with Zach Fritsch, at least as they run right now. They've got enough of a buffer that Kuhn finishing 8th would not affect them. Obviously, it gets a little bit more hairy if Kuhn finishes inside the top 5 or even goes and wins the race.
I would not want to be a calculator right now.
You don't want to be me right now then, because that's all I've been doing under this caution and even a little bit under green is trying to calculate based on where everybody is right now how this is going to shake out as they run.
Oh, good grief. All right, as they make their way past the start finish line, we now have 4 laps to go. And the lights are out on the Silverado. So that's a real good sign that we're going to go green flag racing next time around. And you called it, 3 laps to go when the green flag comes out.
It's still a ways to go. I mean, obviously, they got to get 2 full times around to even they get the white flag. And then obviously a lot can happen between the white flag and the checkered flag that could alter the playoffs. So still a long ways to go. We've seen crazier things happen this season, and certainly with this many guys close in points, if Richard Kuhn could pull through a wreck and win the race, a very eventful 3 laps still to come here.
All right, here we go. They're stacked up once again, 2 by 2, side by side. Somebody somewhere, though, is going to have to, well, come away with that win. So I'm not really sure who it's going to be, but I can tell you it's going to be exciting all the way to the end.
Well, I mean, this is what your 3-race round comes down to, potentially. For some guys, could be what their season comes down to, depending on, again, the truck to watch on the restart's the 47. It's all going to come down to what the 47 does on this restart as to how this shakes out. If the 47 goes up, makes some noise, and either steals the win or comes close, we're looking at a very interesting point situation. Here we go, 3 laps to go from Daytona.
Anthony English in the 44, last week's race winner, the only driver officially locked in with the race win. Everyone else trying to get in either with a win here tonight or on points. English could upset their plans and go back to back. Here we go, 3 laps to go. Keep in mind, all we're aiming for is a white flag.
Yeah, and obviously these guys hope to just make it there and settle it out now. And still 2x2. Surprised nobody's gone to the third line quite yet. Some guys looking. Gilchrist, Makara, they're the first to move, but no help. Still nobody looking. Now Richard Kuhn took a peek. Oh man, he took a look for a second, and that could really throw a wrench into this race if he goes up there 3 wide. I think deBorja and Neagles would probably cut it off. Gabe Butler's looking. Kuhn needs to go with him if he wants to go. If he wants to get it done, he's got to go. He's going to. Richard Kuhn's found a gap to the outside, and now the Bootnaka teammates hang him out to dry against the outside wall. Kuhn going backwards in a hurry.
Yeah, he is falling back. He has got a long way to go before he gets some help in that third lane. But Anthony English in the 44, still out in front. Richard Sanchez, our stage winner earlier in the race, he is now trying to pick up a race win as well. 2 laps to go. All we have to do is get to the white flag, and then it won't matter.
Makara's around. It's not going to matter. We're going to overtime. Makara and Richard Kuhn have wrecked to the back of the field, and that might just do it for Richard Kuhn's hopes to make the next round of the playoffs.
71 of Sean Makara. I saw him smack that outside wall a ton. Good to see him get rolling. But yeah, this is going to be our first attempt at a green-white checkered. Kuhn got into the wall coming off a turn 2.
He actually bounced off of it a few times, and about the third time he came off the wall across the nose of Kacey Gilchrist, and either Gilchrist or Makara, I couldn't tell which of them it was. He came across the nose of whoever was still up there behind him, and he spun right across the field and slid down to the apron.
Travis Elliott, Eric Laurie, Sean Makara, Richard Kuhn, all getting collected in this one. Go off the nose of Sean Makara. So with that being said, we are into our first attempt at a green-white checkered. We will go into extra laps here tonight.
What else was going to happen in a cutoff race? Obviously, the point situation going to open up a little bit now that Richard Kuhn is back near the back of the field. Not over yet. If he can get back out on the racetrack, he's coming to pit road. He's got some damage. We'll see if he takes his fast repair right here. Still, his night's not over. We've seen some crazy finishes even at this racetrack. Kacey Gilchrist got his win driving through a couple of last lap wrecks here at this very racetrack. So going to be interesting still, and Kuhn does use a fast repair. He's not out of this yet, but some work to be done now here on this potentially what's going to be the last restart.
So the 44 of Anthony English, who won the race last week, finding himself as the race leader once again, but everyone trying to save fuel and dropping down to the bottom. Not a bad call. Good move to be in that short track, shortest way around this long 2.5 mile super speedway.
Trying to do some more points, Matt. It's basically what I've been doing the last 3 or 4 cautions. Kuhn ran to the back, but so are some guys that he was racing in points, so this one's not over yet. Certainly some stuff can happen on the last 2 laps. It's going to change a little bit of everything here as Don't look now, but the leaders are down on the apron. Oh boy. Is fuel mileage going to become an issue here at the front of the field as everybody except Richard Sanchez and Kevin Freis, and then further back some more guys that have been on pit road. A lot of the leaders though, oh man, this could get so interesting. There's so many different things that could happen in the last 2 laps of this race.
Well, the good news is we got all the action we could want, pretty much.
Ain't that the truth? And still, 5 more miles of action at least if these guys, decide to get to the white flag right here. Obviously, another attempt if needed, but these guys, I think, would like to go ahead and finish it right here.
All right, so the lights have gone out on the Chevy Silverado. We're going to stack them up once again and then fire them off. So as we work our first attempt at a green-white checkered, please keep in mind, once that white flag comes out, anything can happen after that. The only flag that will fall next is the checkered. So they do have to get around to the white flag. Otherwise, we'll use our second and final attempt at a green-white checkered. And that second and final attempt could be bad news for everyone who did not come down pit road to top off their fuel tank.
Oh, and it could be great news for Richard Kuhn, who's at the tail end of this draft, just came to pit road, gassed up, and took his fast repair. He's good. So if all these guys to front have fuel mileage issues, then all of a sudden we go right back to where we were, where Richard Kuhn can make the playoffs simply just because of a guy had an issue at the front, like running out of gas. So we'll have to see here on this potentially last restart. Fuel does become an issue.
All right, so here we go once again. Alex Green on pit road. Eric Laurie multiple laps down, but back in this race. Bubba Winningham out of the race. That gives us 21 trucks on the lead lap. 21 trucks have a shot at winning this race. Here we go.
Oh boy, down towards turn 1. Kevin Freis up to the outside line immediately. Nate Warren up to the outside line immediately. They're going to have some moves to make. Nagel's going to try to push English clear here. Gabe Butler out from behind his teammate. He's up to the outside line. It's going to allow Vicente Guerrero to fill that gap on the bottom, try to make up some space. Same with Zach Fritsch. Trying to make up the time gain. Nagel's pushing hard on the back of the 44. Top line has the momentum and the trucks, however, as Richard Sanchez, Josh Ball, both going to go to the lead. Ball to the inside. Big move out of the 1. Down into turn number 3. Now Workman's the lead pusher on the outside. English the lead pusher on the bottom. As Josh Ball take it to second. He gets clear. He's clear now. He wants to go up in front of Sanchez. Oh, Nagels pushes English out of line. English turns the 1 out of the inside. Are we going to get to the white flag? I think we are. We're still 3.
Ball.
Oh, how did he get back up on the racetrack? White flag from Daytona. Oh, no, he went further back.
White flag came out just as Josh Ball rejoined the group, and everything went south from there. And now Zach Workman in the 19 out in front of Adam Kilday and Richard Sanchez.
Oh boy, we are jockeying all over the racetrack. Kody Neagles thought about splitting these guys. Now Workman gets split. Contact with Kilday. Sanchez back to the lead. Butler behind him. This is still a 5-horse race off turn number 4. Anything can happen. Still a long ways to go here into 3. Workman at the bottom. It's going to be Workman versus Sanchez headed off of turn number 4.
Here they come off of turn number 4. Zach Workman, Richard Sanchez. Who's it going to be? Sanchez on the outside. Workman down on the bottom. And at the line, it is Zach Workman.
How about that? Zach Workman, what a huge win for him. He wasn't really going to have to worry about points anyway. Now he certainly doesn't. As he walks off the round of 16 with a victory. What a finish. I mean, these guys, even for just 5 guys, provided us with a heck of a finish right there.
Holy cow, how about that one? Ladies and gentlemen, your race winner, the 19 of Zach Workman, somehow we found a way to tear up a bunch of trucks.
I kind of figured that it was probably going to happen there at the end. You know how these guys are, but we make it to the end regardless, somehow, some way, with those 5, and they did not disappoint. I thought all 5 of them were going to win at some point during that last lap.
Real quick, I do want to point out Richard Roberts is here in YouTube chat. Thank you very much for joining us. And yes, this is a very worn out track. This was the original Daytona back from 2008 when iRacing started. And Daytona has since been repaved, and iRacing has since gone back and rejoined them, or reskinned the track. As our race winner starts to celebrate, the 19 burning it down. And that is none other than Zach Workman. So Dawson, you want to kick off this post-race show?
Yeah, I think I will. Caught up with our winner who's burning it down the front stretch right now. Hey, Workman, it's the boys up in the booth. You got a copy?
How's it going?
Man, what a race, what a finish. You come away with the victory, and I mean, I can't imagine that there was a better time for it than tonight. Your first victory of the season. Man, how does that one feel?
It's been a while. We haven't won one since March, so surprised I didn't know how to do these things. But no, we had some good points. We were like 12 up at the cut line, so it wasn't like a must win. This makes me feel good because we've had a very up and down season. It's either been top 10 or fucking 30th. But other than that, we didn't have anyone else. It was just me and Fritsch tonight in FSR, but feels good to win always. You know, good time to get some momentum for next rounds and stuff.
Oh, absolutely. You do just that. You advanced the round of 12 tonight with that victory. It looked like you were in advance on points anyway, but hey, the victory, you just do it the easy way, get it out of the way, and take us through that last lap a little bit. Man, what a roller coaster. You see the wreck happen behind you. It looked like you had no help going into 3, and all of a sudden, Kody Neagles kind of pushed you all the way through 3 and 4 and all the way to the victory. Just kind of take us through your perspective of that.
Yeah, they're at the end. I was going to go 3 wide, but I saw kind of the bottom having some trouble there, so I just stayed on the top side, and then we just kind of shoot out past. I knew I had to get past Richard over there, try to get a chance to block. I thought I was in duck. I didn't know. I didn't want to like completely just put him into the wall, but I did want to throw some blocks. And then Adam there, he was my help. He is my chartered car, so yeah, I know he better help. I'm just kidding, but yeah. And then Kody just came up through the middle and just gave me a huge shove. Got me that win. Appreciate him.
Oh, absolutely. You get it done. You advance the round of 12 tonight. Well, we got you for a second here before we let you go celebrate. Anybody you want to thank or shout out?
I gotta thank the FSR boys. You know, they're recovering from the weekend we had, especially Tyler. We won't say more about that, but gotta thank those boys, Instacart for being on the hood, my parents and girlfriend for letting me do this. I mean, I drove like 480 miles home, and then I was just like, hey, I gotta also do a race, so LOL. No family time over here. But and then thank you guys in the booth. I know it's been kind of a long season, especially with all the wrecks and stuff like that. We aren't the happiest over here, but we appreciate you guys coming each week and broadcasting us turn left. So thank you guys.
Oh, absolutely. And thank you for talking to us. Congratulations on a huge win. You're into the round of 12, and we're going to see you next week. Good luck.
Thanks, buddy.
All right, that was Zach Workman, our race winner here tonight. But now let's move on to our driver who brought it home in second place. Not only that, but also picked up a stage win here tonight. Mr. Sanchez, you got your ears on, bud?
Yes, sir. How's it going?
Man, I'll tell you what, if I was doing any better, my name would be Richard Sanchez.
Hey, that was a almost but no cigar there, wasn't it?
Man, I'll tell you what, that was as close as you can get. But either way, you win a stage, you bring it home in second place. A great run for you here tonight.
Oh, yeah, it was a blast, too. So good race. Hope it looked good.
Well, take us through your last lap here tonight.
Hell, I don't remember it. Usually that last lap, I just close my eyes and pray to God.
Oh,
I don't know. There was some bumping, I think a little rubbing going on, but I just got to run and took it.
Man, closing your eyes, you think that's the best strategy?
Around here sometimes, yeah.
Well, either way, you do find a way to bring it home in second place. A lot of death and destruction behind you on that white flag lap, but a solid second place run here tonight, a solid stage win. Shout outs, thank yous that you need to give.
Shout out to OP for the leagues. Shout out to Turn 3 for the broadcast. Yourself. Shout out to Butt Kicker. And shout out to my teammates over there on Vendetta. And again to the wife. Happy birthday, babe.
All right. Well, that's twice that you got to say that to her. So make sure you get those extra brownie points, man.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
All right. That is Richard Sanchez, driver who brought it home in second place here tonight. Once again, congratulations, man. But now it is time for our third and final step of the podium. And Dawson, I'm going to let you talk to him once again.
Yeah. Hey, Kody, it's the boys up in the booth. You get a copy?
Yes, I do, guys. Hope you enjoyed the race.
Well, it was a good one, and you had a pretty great run. Looked pretty dominant there towards the end. You come home third, a couple spots short, but hey, you're into the round of 12, and I got to imagine that feels pretty good.
It does feel good. I got the big goose egg I'm gunning for in the win column this season. You know, I got a couple last season, but the season kind of got cut short. Looks like I'm trading in a couple of those wins from last season to go deeper in the playoffs this season. So just got to cap off the runs and just have a little bit of help when I need it, because unfortunately it just looked like I didn't have a ton going my way there at the end. I've seen some teammates getting lined up, and I knew it was going to be pretty difficult for me. So the best thing I can do is just make an ally, and maybe, hopefully, you know, I'll get a win a little bit later in the season when, you know, at this point, if I get a win, it is going to lock me into the following round. So, you know, didn't get the win here, but it would be much more important if I could bag a win in the next couple races.
Oh, it is, certainly, and obviously as you go in the round of 12, the wins get more and more valuable, but you come home third tonight, and it felt like you kind of needed this result. It was not the round of 16 I'm sure that you wanted. We saw you get involved in a lot of accidents tonight, kind of a step back in the right direction for you. It goes back to that consistency. So, you know, is this a stepping stone for you getting back to the form we saw a little earlier in the season?
I would sure hope so. I think it was just more of maybe a little bit of bad luck where I was getting involved in a wreck in the first 10 laps. Yeah, it was about the first 10 laps, both races. First 5, hell, I think last week. But no, I just think it's staying out of trouble early and keeping the track position. As long as I can take care of that, then I feel like I can do the rest at the end of the race and at least get a good finish. You know, it's going to be more of the same next week. Just stay out of trouble. Keep my car up front somewhere, and hopefully I have the correct help I need to secure a win and get rid of that goose egg.
Well, obviously, that is your hopes to go a little bit deeper in the season. One last thing for you, at least based on my live math, and again, not sure if this is 100% accurate, but it's what I've got so far. It looks like both of your teammates are into the round, or at least both the ones that were in the race tonight are into the round of 12. So, you know, how does it feel to get those guys in as well after what seemed like a bumpy race for both of them all the way through?
It's honestly bittersweet, man, because both them guys deserve where they're at, being in the round of 12, but at the same time, I feel like Steve can't catch a break because I felt like we were going to have 4 drivers in the top 12. Steve loses power because there's a power line down by his house. He has no power, no internet, no nothing, so he can't race. So it goes from looking like we got a quartet of drivers in the round of 12 to now we just have a trio. So I'm going to cross my fingers and hope Vince and Seabass get in, because I don't know, man. I'm happy for us 3, but I'm very, very upset for Steve because he had a hell of a season as well.
Oh, absolutely. What a tough break it is. But regardless, you 3 are still in the title picture in the round of 12, and certainly that is a huge achievement for the Dale Cup team. So while we have you here for a second, anybody you want to thank or shout out after a third place effort tonight?
I want to thank both you guys for putting together or just broadcasting every single week. And with OP, you guys do a lot for this league. I can't thank you enough. OP admins for everything they do behind the scenes again. I want to thank all my Dale Cup teammates, Seabass, Vince, and Koro King. Got to give him a special shout out because I know his spirits are a little bit broken after tonight. So I just hope to see you back out here, man, because if we're going to have a chance to win a championship and bring the OP title, especially the Premier title, but any OP title for that matter. I feel like it has to involve both Seabass and Koro. They are crucial to our team's operations.
Oh, absolutely. One of the more consistent, one of the better teams out there on a weekly basis. We'll see if you guys can get it done. Congrats on a huge third place effort. Congrats on making it to the round of 12, and we'll see you next week.
Thank you.
All right, there you have it. Kody Neagles, driver of the 6, our third and final step of the podium. Not a whole lot left to talk about here tonight, Dawson. Unofficially, who do you think made it in? Wait, easier question. Who got eliminated?
Well,
Crosby Sr., Richard.
Yeah, based on my math, the four guys out after tonight, and again, this could be completely wrong. Obviously, we'll have to update this next week if it is. But here's what I've got, at least on my end. As they finished tonight, the guys out, Steve Korosec obviously did not make the race. Same with Crosby Sr. and Jim Maier as well. They were out by virtue of not starting the race tonight. The other driver eliminated, unfortunately, tonight, even despite a 6th place finish, is going to be Richard Kuhn. I don't think anybody got enough points. I already looked through. There was not anybody that gained enough points, or excuse me, lost enough points to him for him to advance. So that means our round of 12, and I can just go through it if you'd like me to real quick, if you want to just go ahead and name off the guys that are in it. So Anthony English, he advances. Same with Zach Workman. They won races in this round, so they are through. Kevin Freis is through the round of 12. Obviously, we just talked to Kody Neagles. He's through as well. Zach Fritsch found a way to get up off the mat. It seemed like tonight nothing was going his way. He advances. Same with Kacey Gilchrist. Great season for the driver of the 31. Sebastian Marin advances by the skin of his teeth. Same with Peter deBorja. At least by my math, they both advanced by 3 points tonight. So could not have gotten much closer for those drivers. Vicente Guerrero is in. Gabe Butler is in. Makara is in. Adam Kilday is in. And Peter deBorja rounds out our 12-truck round of 12. Those are the guys that made it in, at least based on my math after tonight's race.
Absolutely. And that is not the official league math. We just want to clarify that. But Dawson, man, I appreciate you doing all that point track, because that is something that's very hard to do. So nice job, man.
Well, it's fun to do. I mean, this is why playoff systems are so much fun, is because you get to just sit and do math, and then something happens and you get to react to it like, oh boy, well that changes things. And I'll tell you what, Richard Kuhn, you can't give enough props to the driver of the 47. He made it tough on those guys tonight. He made them sweat. And almost got enough points to get his way in. I think he's just going to fall a little bit short, but either way, what an effort by the driver of the 47.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'll tell you what, with things as close as they are, I believe this was his first time in the playoffs on Monday. And so he had an outstanding showing. Vicente Guerrero, Crosby Sr, Korosec, Kuhn, Kilday, all in the playoffs for the first time here on Monday night. So, yeah, if these guys get eliminated, man, they're just going to hang their hat on the fact that they made the playoffs for the first time. But it is what it is. So, with that being said, Dawson, before we go, one more time, why don't you sign us out?
All right. Well, it was a great race tonight. I'll tell you what, I was looking forward to it. I knew there was going to be a lot of action, a lot of math to be done tonight. Certainly had my brain working all night. These guys put on a heck of a show. We've got our final 12, and it's a great group. It's going to be a lot of fun. Keep tuning in. If you want to see some exciting racing, look at the next 3 weeks, because we're going to eliminate 4 guys in 3 weeks that are probably our upper echelon of drivers. So as we continue to whittle the field down, keep watching. This is going to be a lot of fun. I've certainly had a lot of fun being on this ride, and we're in the round of 12. We're getting down to it, into the nitty-gritty. That's going to do it for us from Daytona, though. For Mr. K.R. Stolfus, my name is Dawson Wise. Hope everybody comes back next week. Good night.
With the Butt Kicker Gamer 2, what you see and what you hear is what you feel. Butt Kicker. The future is feeling.